The night sky over Serbia in March 1999 held a secret, one that the world believed could never be touched. The F-117 Nighthawk, America's stealth fighter, had slipped through the most dangerous skies time and time again. Invisible to radar, nearly silent in its attack profile, it was thought to be untouchable. Yet, in one shocking moment, that myth was shattered when a single Nighthawk was struck down, sending waves of disbelief across the globe. How could the most advanced stealth jet of its time, designed to evade detection at all costs, fall to a force armed with technology decades older? This is the story of how a Nighthawk was shot down, and how a moment of vulnerability exposed the limits of even the most secretive war machines. Hello everyone, welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel. Please make sure to subscribe and stay with us as we dive deep into some of the most fascinating and shocking events in modern military history. The summary of this story is one of contrasts, between power and vulnerability, between cutting-edge technology and determined adversaries, between the myth of invincibility and the reality of war. The F-117 was brought down during NATO's bombing campaign in Yugoslavia in 1999, when Serbian forces managed to use old Soviet-era radar systems, modified tactics, and patient strategy to detect and target the stealth jet. The loss of the Nighthawk was not only a tactical victory for the Serbs but also a psychological blow to the United States, showing the world that stealth had its weaknesses. It proved that no machine, however advanced, is beyond risk in the fog of war. When we begin with the exterior of the Nighthawk, the first thing that must be said is how unlike any other fighter jet it appeared. The F-117 was not designed with sleek curves or the natural aerodynamic beauty of aircraft like the F-16 or MiG-29. Instead, it was angular, sharp, and almost alien in its appearance. Its faceted surfaces were deliberately designed to deflect radar waves rather than allow them to bounce back to enemy detection systems. The jet looked more like a piece of futuristic origami than a conventional aircraft. Its matte black skin absorbed light, making it nearly invisible in the night sky. Every line and surface of the Nighthawk screamed stealth, and from the outside, it appeared more like a spaceship than a plane built in the 1980s. To see one flying was to witness an enigma in motion, an aircraft that was not about speed or agility in the traditional sense but about evasion, concealment, and precision. Inside, however, the story was different. The interior of the F-117 was not built for comfort or luxury. Pilots often described the cockpit as cramped, functional, and almost austere. It was a space designed for focus, with advanced avionics for its time but not the expansive panoramic displays of newer fifth-generation fighters. The controls were simple and pragmatic, emphasizing the pilot's role in guiding precision strikes rather than engaging in dogfights. There was no room for distraction, just the essentials: radar-absorbing displays, targeting systems, and the narrow canopy that limited outward visibility. The Nighthawk's interior reflected its mission: slip in unnoticed, deliver a strike, and slip out before the enemy knew it was there. In terms of performance, the F-117 was both remarkable and limited. It was not a fast jet by fighter standards. With a top speed of Mach 0.92, it could not break the sound barrier. It could not outmaneuver traditional fighters in a dogfight, nor could it accelerate to the blistering speeds of an F-15 or MiG-31. But that was never its purpose. The Nighthawk was designed to penetrate the most heavily defended airspaces in the world and hit targets with pinpoint accuracy. Its strength lay in stealth, not speed. Its radar cross-section was so small it appeared like a bird or an insect on enemy radars, if at all. Combined with advanced navigation and targeting systems, the aircraft could deliver laser-guided bombs with devastating precision, hitting bunkers, radar installations, or command centers in the dead of night. Performance was not about how fast or agile it could fly, but how effectively it could strike without being seen. Safety features of the Nighthawk were both technological and procedural. The very design of the aircraft was its primary defense, reducing the chance of detection and engagement. Its radar-absorbing coating and faceted body served as a protective shield. The jet also flew at night to maximize its concealment, and pilots were trained in highly secretive and specific tactics to minimize risks. There were electronic countermeasures on board, though limited compared to some other aircraft, because stealth was meant to make countermeasures unnecessary. The F-117 relied heavily on mission planning and stealth corridors, carefully timed entry and exit routes through enemy defenses, to ensure pilot safety. Yet, as the shootdown revealed, if those conditions were disrupted, the safety net could unravel. The unique selling points of the Nighthawk were undeniable. It was the first operational stealth aircraft in the world, a technological marvel that showed America's dominance in aerospace innovation. It could go where no other aircraft could, strike with unmatched precision, and do so while remaining almost invisible. Its psychological impact was as important as its tactical one, enemies knew that the Nighthawk could appear without warning, and their defenses might be powerless to stop it. The jet represented the future of warfare when it was unveiled, embodying the idea that wars could be won not by brute force but by precision, stealth, and control of the skies. As for the price, the Nighthawk was an expensive experiment that became a legend. Each aircraft cost around $111 million at the time, a staggering amount in the 1980s and early 1990s. The program itself ran into the billions, with costs driven by the secrecy, specialized materials, and cutting-edge research that went into making the aircraft a reality. While expensive, the value of the jet was measured not just in dollars but in the influence it had on military strategy and the development of future stealth platforms like the B-2 Spirit and the F-22 Raptor. Now we return to the fateful night when one of these marvels was brought down. On March 27, 1999, during NATO's air campaign over Yugoslavia, Colonel Zoltan Dani and his Serbian Air Defense Unit prepared a trap. Using old Soviet-built SA-3 Goa surface-to-air missile systems, they adapted their radar tactics. Instead of leaving their radars active and exposed, they kept them off until the last possible moment, turning them on briefly to avoid detection and to catch a glimpse of incoming aircraft. The Nighthawk, flying what was considered a routine mission, was tracked not because stealth failed in principle but because stealth had limits. Weather conditions, predictable flight paths, and patient operators with modified equipment combined to give the Serbs a fleeting window of opportunity. That was all they needed. When the missile streaked upward and struck the F-117, it tore away the illusion of invisibility. The pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Dale Zelko, ejected and survived, but the wreckage of the aircraft scattered across Serbian fields became a symbol. Images of the downed Nighthawk were broadcast worldwide, a propaganda victory for Serbia and a sobering reminder for the United States. The jet that was never supposed to be seen had been not only seen but destroyed. The invulnerable had been made vulnerable, and stealth was revealed to be a powerful but not perfect shield. The conclusion of this story is layered. The F-117 Nighthawk remains one of the most iconic and groundbreaking aircraft ever built. Its shootdown did not erase its legacy but highlighted the reality of warfare. No weapon system is invincible, and adversaries will always search for weaknesses. The loss of the Nighthawk forced changes in tactics, mission planning, and even future aircraft design. It taught militaries that stealth must be combined with unpredictability, electronic warfare, and overwhelming force to remain effective. In the end, the Nighthawk's story is not just about how it was shot down, but how its existence reshaped the way wars are fought.